In this video, we'll talk about national messengers.
Is this a WhatsApp competitor? It's simpler, browser-based, works where others are blocked, and it's not owned by a tech empire.
Why national messengers? Let's look at what's happening with the messengers today. There's a couple of well-known messengers like WhatsApp, for example, Telegram, right? They're controlled and owned by a few billionaires, a few companies, maybe corporations, right? The problem with these messengers and with the situation in the world is that there is no trust. The data is most likely located in a few countries and not necessarily the countries that within the national governances of the countries that actually want to have some control over the messengers. Nobody allows them to actually have any control. So the sovereignty of these countries, or most countries in the world, is actually broken, right? So they're not sovereign in the space of messengers, right? They cannot impose their own regulations, their own rules, and so on and so forth. So how to solve this problem? It seems like the trend was for larger, more powerful countries to create their own national messengers. And countries like China, for example, or Russia, they have their own national messengers today, right? Especially because they want their citizens to be protected, and that's understandable, with their own regulation. They don't want to have, let's say, communications that are coming from unknown sources and so on and so forth. And this is understandable, right? So there is a boundary of trust within the country. So when I was thinking about this, I thought about the foundations of the internet. The internet is really based on a project created within the United States, right? It's called ARPANET. And but eventually, what happened is each country created their own network of basically distributed servers, but they all used the internet protocol to be able to communicate, the DNS servers, the name resolution, and so on and so forth. So what I'm proposing with Chataranga, the platform that I initially built to actually connect my own family because of the blockage for well-known messengers like Telegram and WhatsApp. So my wife was not able to connect with her dad, basically, via video calls. And so I decided to build my own messenger called Chataranga, because I really wanted to provide a normal way for my family to communicate. But I'm one of the few people who could build messengers, right? So, in many countries even do not have capability to build their own messengers. So what I was thinking about is that, let's say if we take Chataranga network itself, right? And we help the countries use the protocol that Chataranga uses, right? So create a distributed network, essentially, just like the internet, on top of the internet, basically, right? The internet protocol remains the same. But the Chataranga network of national messengers will be a place where each country has its own national messenger, and we can even help building a national messenger for a very modest investment from the country, basically. For some countries, we could even build it free. If the country doesn't have the funding resources for that, which I doubt, because it's a really, really small investment. And then essentially, each of these connected messengers within the Chataranga that support the Chataranga protocol, they could be completely isolated within the country, right? That's number one. Or they connect outside, basically, with the countries that a specific country has, good or normal relations with. They have complete control and governance over the in and outbound channels of communication with from that messenger, right? So that allows the country to have its own sovereign national messenger, right? But still go out and connect to others so that, if, let's say, the countries don't have any conflict, the countries are in good relations and so on and so forth, and they don't have any problem between their citizens communicating with each other, according to the national regulation, of course, right? Then they can freely use those channels of communication. They can, of course, keep using Telegram and WhatsApp, right? If they don't have any problem with that, then that's fine. If people want to use these things, that's great. But let's say with the trend of many national governments investing in creating their own messengers, it is becoming clear that those national messengers also need to communicate with other countries. Most of the messengers today, like WhatsApp and Telegram, are basically placed in the stores, right? And the stores are, again, surprise, surprise, controlled by corporations. But guess what? Chataranga doesn't have any apps. It is a web-based, completely web-based solution. So just literally just go to Chataranga and start chatting, right? We offer to build a completely isolated or integrated in Chataranga network to any country in the world. So we could have potentially 250 messengers, right? National messengers that, freely talk to each other or not, right? So if, let's say, a country is in a conflict with another country and they decide to, for example, limit that communication. These things happen. We can't control it, right? But at least we can let the sovereign nations choose their own ways to communicate, right? We're planning to start deploying this Chataranga network. Right now is just one messenger, chataranga.com, but we're planning to start offering this to national governments, to organizations that are interested in creating their own messengers, basically, but they don't have resources of building those. The idea behind this should be completely transparent and clear. I think I hope I explained it, that it is based on the same ideas that the internet has, that each country hosting the messenger owns the servers and data and so on and so forth, right? They have complete control over in and outbound traffic for that, and that's understandable, right? So if they have their own they have their own sovereign rights to maintain these things, right? So that's basically the idea. I hope that it will change a few things, right? And I hope it will help people to communicate with more trust.